afternoon, Flosstube. This is Sandy, and this is my channel, Stitching with Sandy. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 23. So welcome. My channel is about cross-stitch and my love for it, and I hope that if you're here for the first time, I hope you find something that you like. And if you're a returning guest, thank you for coming. It's nice to have you here, and I love hearing about your lives in the comments. So thank you for always commenting and supporting my channel. All right, so since the last time I saw you, kindergarten is getting under control. I have to say that because 32 kindergartners is a lot, and at the beginning, when they don't know what they can do and what they can't do, it's a little crazy. But they are finally settling into our routines. They understand the classroom rules, so that's going well. Transitioning from one activity to another is going more smoothly. And I have to say, even Centers is running quietly. So they're getting the hang of it, and it's really exciting to see how much they've grown since the first day of school. Other than that, school's been pretty easy. We did have a wonderful tribute for 9/11 on last Friday. We were supposed to have it the Friday before, but the weather, we got rained out. And yes, I did say rain, pretty surprising for lately because it's been so hot, but it was still steamy and sticky. It was kind of a fluke we got the tail end of a hurricane that hit in below us in Mexico, and so it came up, and so we got really sticky hot weather and very slight rain, which made it just more stickier and more hotter. But we had to cancel and postpone our special assembly, and so we had it last Friday, and it was amazing. What we have is every year when it comes to 9/11, we ask all the first responders to come join us for our assembly, and they get honored at our assembly, and all the children get to cheer them on. It's a lot of fun. We put on a show for them. The middle school sends down dancers and choir groups, and even the drum line came, so that was a lot of fun. We had all branches of the service, and to see the children get so excited to cheer them on, especially if it's their parent. We had about 50 police officers that came through, at least another 50 medics that came through, so different nurses and doctors that are part of our community came through. And then we even had 20 firefighters. One of them was a set of twins that I have in my class, Mom. So they were really excited to cheer her on because they knew that she was going to be there. And it was a really amazing assembly. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I have family members from the past that have been in the military, I'm not sure. But every time we do these kind of ceremonies, I start crying. I don't know why it is. I guess I'm just emotional. But it was a beautiful assembly, and I think my kindergartners had a really great time. And then other than that, I had Temecula Stitchy get together, and we're growing so much. I think we had 12 people there, and I think we were missing about 4, so it's getting a lot bigger than it was. I really think the back room in Panera Bread may be getting too small. We may have to venture out to the big dining room. We'll see, but that's a lot of fun. And then other than that, my twin daughters both received gold honor roll, and that's for a 4.0. I'm so proud of them. I feel like they could sleep and get a 4.0. They're just so smart, and they're so bright, and they work so hard at everything they do, and they're so independent. I don't even have to keep track of any of it. They just do it, and that's a lot to say for a 12-year-old. So I'm proud of both my daughters. And so let's get to the stitching, because that's the reason why you're here. I have some FFOs. I did pull out a couple finished objects that I wanted to FFO in addition to what I finished since I saw you last. So one of them was, I took out, if you're new to me, I used to collect teddy bears. That was my thing back in the early 90s, I would say. And I have probably been collecting them since I was 2 years old, which is even further beyond that. I was a child that had asthma really bad growing up, so when all my friends got to go outside and play, I was usually on the couch with a nebulizer treatment. So I always got a new teddy bear every time I had to go to the hospital or go to the doctors, just to kind of help me feel better. Even had one when I had chicken pox, and the idea was that every time I had an itch on my body, wherever it itched, I was to itch the teddy bear. And I must have really thought that was going to work, because my poor teddy bear was raw in several spots by the time I got over chicken pox. But so I had a lot of teddy bears growing up. Then in about the 90s, I had a friend who gave me a cherished teddy figurine. I think her name was Jenna, is the name of the bear. And the bear was holding a cross-stitch piece, and she was stitching strawberries. And my friend said it reminded her of me, so that's why she got it. And then after that, my house blew up with even more bears. So I did a lot of cross stitching then. And one of my pieces was the cherished teddies of the month. So that's what this one is. And I got him out. He hadn't been FFO'd. He was still in my box, my big bin of unfinished projects that I hadn't completed. And I decided to make this pillow, and I thought it could sit in I have a tier tray in my classroom, so I thought I could sit in my classroom with my students, and it's nice and soft and cozy. And I just tried a different kind of finish, and I really like how it turned out. So because this is an older piece, it was stitched on 14 count, and I believe it was antique white. Ada, so because that's what we stitched on back in the day. There wasn't as many beautiful pieces as there are now. So love this piece. These still hold a big place in my heart, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with my students. So that is one of them. The next two are by Doreen Jones. She has little itty bitty mice that always come out in, I think it's the Cross Stitcher. It's either the Cross Stitcher magazine or the World of Cross Stitch, and they will have a freebie from her, a little mouse in the back. So I think they're called Mouse Tales. Well, I have a whole bunch of those magazines, and I stitched a bunch of them one summer. I just stitched one after another. So I decided to finish them. And so here's the little schoolboy. He's so cute. And a little heart in the back. And then the little schoolgirl. This one reminds me of myself. I feel like I'm the teacher carrying all this stuff to class. So I just finished those. I really like to put out in September. Besides my sunflowers, I do have a section where I put in apples and school-themed objects. So these will go in that area. And then I was stitching. I don't know if you ever have this happen to you, but you have your plans of what you want to do, and you have your whips that you want to touch. But then somebody has to send you a link to a free pattern, or you hear a designer just put one out. Well, that's what happened. So Kathy Haberman finished up her costume party, which I did purchase. I just haven't started it yet. And I love it. I can't wait to finish it. But in the meantime, right after she finished it, she sent her newsletter out, which she hadn't sent for a few months. I didn't know the newsletter came out because it went to my spam folder, which was funny because the costume party came to my folder with no issues. So I'm not sure why that newsletter went in the spam. So first I thought I was missing out because everybody was saying thank you, and I didn't really know why. And then luckily my sweet friend Holly from Mrs. Jones, if you don't know her, please check her out. She has some amazing fair finishes in her last Flosstube. I'll link her below so you can see. She said, oh, check your spam folder. That's where mine was. And sure enough, there it was. So in the newsletter, she included a thank you cross stitch piece, and it's called Plaid for Autumn. So I had to drop everything and stitch it. So I'm not sure if that happens to you, but it did to me. I dropped everything and I finished it. So I started it one evening, and the next evening I finished it. This is called Plaid for Autumn, and I didn't change much. Kathy said in her newsletter she welcomes any changes and looks forward to seeing what fabric choices that people will use. I chose to use, this is a 32 count dusk cashel linen. So that's what I chose to use. And then the only color that I changed, these are all DMC colors, was I changed the brown because the brown stem, which is right here, on the pumpkin, the brown before, I forget what color it was a little bit orangey to me, and I felt like it blended in with the darker orange here in the pumpkin. So I changed it to 840, and I really like that. It really made the leaves and the acorns pop even more. So I'm glad that I changed it. And then I just added, these are some little felted leaves that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. So I hot glued them on, a little raffia bow, and I glued on a little acorn to go there. And so this is my finish. Start and finish in 2 days. Was so excited. I was talking to Kathy about it, and it sounds like she may, fingers crossed, come out with a different one for each of the seasons, but I don't know. We'll see. She wasn't sure. She said she has lots of ideas in her mind, and sometimes she doesn't know why she didn't think of making it a seasonal piece. And I just told her, well, it's probably because you have so many beautiful ideas in your mind that you're trying to get them all out, and then sometimes we can't do that. So she's very sweet. I'm excited that I got to stitch that, and I'm looking forward to her future patterns. All right, so the next piece, I have been working on trying to stitch all the berries just like Helen D. Although truthfully, I've had so many projects going on for model stitching that I've been lacking in what I have for myself. So I'm trying to get back on that train. I don't have a stitch project right now for anyone else, so that means I can do some more for myself. So here's my berry. This is my sunshine berry. If you've been following me around, you know that this year, for the 2022 year, I decided to make a bucket list. On my bucket list, I picked different pieces, whether it be a sampler or perforated paper or a 3D piece like the berries. I chose different pieces that I've never stitched before and made it my goal to finish at least one this year. So I scheduled out 12 different items, one a month, and one of them was Sunshine Berry. So this is Sunshine Berry, and it's called, Sunshine Berry, and it says, "You are my sunshine," with this beautiful sunflower, which I thought was perfect to finish in the month of September, since it's September, Sunflower September. And then I used some wool for the leaves and the topper, but then I used this little doily. Helen D had talked about how her mom crochets these little tiny doilies, white ones that she's using in her winter berries, and they're super cute. Well, I don't know how to do that, and I don't have any family members that do either. So I went antique-y one day, and I found a package of, I want to say there was about 8 different ones in there, and it was like $2 at the antique shop. So I purchased them, and then I sent Helen a few of them too, because I wanted to share since I found different colors. And I kept this one, and I told her I sent her a yellow one just like it, and I told her I'm going to use mine to make the topper on the Sunshine Berry. And so then I also cut a little piece of brown wool with some pinking shears, and I just stitched that on like the center of the sunflower, and now it's complete. So I'm really happy with it. I love it so much. And I had so much fun that I decided to do like I did the last time I did some berries and make some fabric berries. So let me show you what I did. So I had some scraps, and a lot of times I'll use the scrap fabric for the backs of pillows, or maybe finishings on the backboard as a decoration. And sometimes I have some pieces that I don't know what to do with because they're very small, but I hate to throw them away because what if I can use them? So this time I took some scraps from making project bags, and I made some more berries. So let me show you them. So here's one, and I love it, and it says thankful, and it has a little sunflower right there. And then a mom, or not a mom, a grandmother of one of my students. I have a pair of twins. I had their older brother last year, and now I have them as they requested me for this year. And their grandmother is very crafty, and every single holiday, it never fails. It could be the smallest holiday to Labor Day. She will send in a treat or a prize or present for me. It's so sweet of her, and she loves to craft. So she shops at Hobby Lobby as much as I do, and she found these. They're little sunflowers. I think there was like 6 of them in a package. And they have like a little sticker on the other side, so you can use it like a sticker, but I don't know that it would stay because it was a very tiny little sticker piece. Anyways, they feel like felt, but a little stiffer. And I decided to use them as toppers. I thought that was perfect. So I'm really excited. So I made not just one, but two. Here's another scrap of fabric that I used. I made another berry. And the last one is this one. And now this one was a project bag front fail. And the reason why I say that is I was cutting along, thought I was doing a great job. And then when it was time to start putting it together, I realized I accidentally cut the wrong way. So one direction was 14 inches and the other direction was 13 inches, and I turned it around. So it wasn't gonna work. So I threw it in my basket of fabric, and so that's why it has rickrack. And then I realized, what am I gonna do with that? And so then I thought, I wonder if I could turn it into a berry. And it worked. So there it is. And so I used the sunflowers there. I know that they came from Hobby Lobby. I think they're about $2.99, but then they're on sale. I don't know if they still have them. She bought them for me on Labor Day. That was my gift. I got those, and I think some little fall leaves. But so she got them there. So you can check your Hobby Lobby. They may still have them. And if they do, then they're on discount because I think they're already discounting Christmas too. So now I'll have a little basket of berries. So there you go. I didn't have to stitch them all, but I'm gonna have a lot of berries to decorate with. So I'm looking forward to that. So I just wanted to show you that sunflower idea, because sometimes you'll get an idea from something that wasn't meant for that item, and that's what makes it so fun. All right, so I'm just putting my FFOs away in my little basket. I had all smalls this week, no large pieces. However, I did a lot of stitching this week. All right, so I am gonna go to giveaways next from last video. Now I had one that's gone back from 2 videos ago, so I'm re-putting it out there. So we had, let's see. Sorry, okay, so I redrew. So this one was from Flosstube 21. It's JBW Designs French Country Crow. And I had stitched this one and I mounted it. I love this one so much. The person did not claim it, so I'm gonna put it out again. So the keyword was crow, and when I redrew, the winner of this one is Lorraine Wolf. So Lorraine, please find my email below. Be careful because my name and then there's an 8 after it before you put @gmail.com. A lot of people leave that off and then I don't get their messages. So Lorraine, congratulations. If you will email me your address, I will get this in the mail to you. Then from last week's, I had 3 giveaways last week. This one was Country Cottage Needlework Sunflowers in Summer. Oh, sorry about the glare. And the keyword for that was summer. And the winner of this giveaway is Vicki Kennedy. Vicki Kennedy, congratulations. Please email me your address and I'll get this out to you. Congratulations. Then from JBW Designs, Santa Sleigh, and this one, the keyword was Santa, and the winner of this one is Laurie Belle-Lyle, I think. It's B-E-L-L like Belle, I-L-E, Laurie. So Laurie, if you email me your information, I'll get this out to you. Congratulations. And then I also had this pair of patterns by Summer House Stitchworks. One is called, oops, it's upside down. One is called Pussycat, and the other one is Dog. And they come together as a set, and the keyword was pets. And the winner of this one is Donna Francis. Donna Francis, you have yourself a set of pet patterns. So email me below, and I will get these out to you. Congratulations to all of this week's giveaways. All right. So the next thing up to talk about is the autumn swaps. All of the autumn swaps are out and received. They're beautiful. So I put the rest of them, I made a little quick video of the rest of them to share with you. So I hope you enjoy the creativity of my subscribers. It makes it so much fun to participate each time we do this because I get spoiled and get to see all of their lovely finishes, and it inspires me to finish some other items the way that they did. So I will insert that right here. All right, weren't they beautiful? I'm just amazed at people's talent. It blows me away. All right, so next up is my whips. All right, so here we go. So I did do a lot of work. I am in a lot of stitch alongs. My friends kind of tease me about that. One of the stitch alongs I'm in is one by Teresa Kogut, and she's released her most recent release. And I was behind. So I finished up the last release, which was release number 3 and 4. She released them together because 4 was a very small piece. And so that's where I was stuck. So I spent an evening ago finishing that part. So part 5 has come out. And this is Strawberry Manor Mystery Cell. So here is where we are so far. So this is the part 4 and this is part 5. So I need to stitch that. But I've got the entire top done. I finished my alphabet. My berries on the borders come all the way down to here where I stopped. So let me show you. I stitched mine on 28 count coffee tea dyed Monaco. And here is my progress. I love it so very much. She has on the patterns, I'm gonna show you the cover sheet, like pieces from parts that are gonna be below. But I don't know if it's my OCD or what, but I just can't start it if I don't have the full piece. Does that make me strange? I don't know. I guess we all have quirks. That's my quirk. I can't. So that part I'll finish when the bottom half of that bird is released. But I'm really enjoying this. I find that it brings me a lot of joy to stitch her pattern, and that tells me that I need to stitch a lot more of her patterns. She is just the most amazing artist, and I find so much joy in stitching her pieces. I know a lot of people say that they think that some of her work is very stitch heavy, but I think since she started becoming a cross stitcher herself, I think she realized that, and so I don't think there as much stitches as they were before. All right, my next one is my temperature tree. So my temperature tree, I've been charting it all year. I've tried to stay on top of things, and I've been. So you can see that ours, I didn't get any purples. I think maybe 1 purple, maybe 2. Those are the coldest weather, but the rest of the year, not so much. You can even see the yellows. This is like 90s. And then it just gets, and the reds and oranges are high 90s and then hundreds, in the hundreds. It's been a very hot year. They say it's gonna get really hot again, and this last week it's been, I wanna say mid 90s, but they're saying it's gonna jump back up again. I'm very sad about that. I wish autumn would hurry up and get here. Somebody tell Mr. Winter to blow a big wind in over this way. I don't want it to go to the people who don't want it, but please send it my way. I love a cool off. So I'm just gonna keep on chucking along. It's amazing how quickly you start working on it and you think it's gonna take forever. And then you look at it and you're like, wow, we don't have that much more time left in this year. And this is stitched on 14 count fabric flare magical clouds. I chose that one because it looked like the sky. I just love it. I like a cloudy sky. All right, so that's that one. Keep plugging along. I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like fully finished at the end. Now my daughter, which most of you know, one of my daughters, one of the twins, Cassandra, she has been stitching. She hasn't gotten much progress on the most recent one, but she saw this pattern. It came from our friend PJ. One night PJ said she had heard that my daughter loves purple, and she saw this pattern, and it's called Spices or Tail Designs Purple Pumpkin Patch. This is it. And she said, I bet your daughter would love this pattern. So she sent it home with me, and of course my daughter did. So originally when I showed it to her on my phone, I asked her, which one do you think you'd want to stitch? Or do you want to stitch them both? She said, oh, I think I just want to do the top one, Mom. Maybe you could do the bottom, we could do a stitch along. I said, oh, sure, that's great. Then the pattern came, and she decided she wanted to do the bottom and that I should do the top. So I said, sure, whatever you want to do, sweetie. So she's stitching on 14 count gray, a 14 count gray. So I am too. And this is where I'm at right now. And what I told her I would do is I would only do a motif when she's working on a motif. That way I don't get done with it too soon, so she doesn't feel like she's way behind. I don't want to do that to her. So she's working along, plugging along. She just finished her border, and she's completed one pumpkin. I'm just doing a little border as I go. I prefer to do it that way. And then I changed the year because on the pattern it said 21, and of course it's 22. So when she gets another motif on, I will add another one. And she does want to come on and share her progress with you, but she felt like she needed a little bit more progress before she should come on. So we want to give her her space. So I'm doing that stitch along with my daughter. Who would have guessed that one year I would be doing a stitch along with my daughter? It's so amazing. I feel so blessed to have a daughter who loves cross stitch and is enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to when my other daughter gets more involved. She likes it. She wants to start something. She's interested in doing a dragon. She's picked out 2 or 3 different patterns, but when I ask her if she wants me to order the fabric and order the pattern so that she can get started, she says, oh, you can wait, Mom. So I don't know if she's waiting till winter break or what, but just keep bugging her and putting little hints in there to get started. We'll see when she does. So the next piece that I worked on is I was lucky enough to win one of these. I did my donation for the philanthropic pumpkin last year. It was a limited edition by Hands On Design. And when Kathy shared that the donation that you make to get the pattern would go to Special Olympics, I immediately jumped on the bandwagon. Really didn't care what the pattern looked like. When I was first in, I want to say 11th grade in high school, I was a junior, I got a job working for Special Olympics. And at that time I was a telemarketer, which was not fun because you call, you get 2 words, they give you this sheet that's like this long with what to say. You get through to the middle of the second sentence and people hang up on you, just hang up on you. So I really did not enjoy that job too much. But it was just a springboard because I did work at a special education high school. It was right across the street from my school, and during the time that I was enrolled in high school, I did do some tutoring where they assign you a class and you go there each day and you work with the students. I did that and loved it. So then when I got the job at Special Olympics, I thought that was amazing. And then I moved on from there to actually being a part of the events for Special Olympics in our chapter area of Southern California, which at that time was in San Diego. And I loved it. I had so much joy from the athletes and the families that I looked forward to doing it. So when she talked about raising money for her son's chapter, I jumped right on it. I would have just given her the money, to be honest with you. But so I went ahead and I did this pattern, got this pattern. I was one of the lucky ones, and I've been working on it. So let me share my progress with you. So surprisingly enough, it seems like a small pattern. Like here's the linen, and it seems like there's not much stitching, but to be honest, there's a lot of stitching. I work on it and I work on it and I work on it, and it takes forever to get some done. So I'm still going. I still have another set of birds here and here, and then I have to get this done here and here. And then of course this little left piece of the border. And then I get to start to figure out how to put it together. So wish me luck. I hope to get it done soon. This is stitched on 32 count. Let me check my list. I wrote it down. I think it's Cafe Latte. Let me make sure. 32 count French latte linen. So there's where I'm at. I know it's going to be a challenge. I did make this one of my bucket lists also. I did it as a 3D object. The berry I did as a berry. So when I'll get these two done, I can check them off the list. All right, next up, I told you, I've been stitching up a lot. Okay, so I am getting ready in October. Hands On Design, Kathy Haberman, and Lois from Lady Dot Creates is hosting a class in Modesto, California, which is in Northern California. I think it's about an 8-hour drive from here, which we will be making that drive. I signed up for the class. It's my dream to meet her. I've never taken any classes. I've never even been to a retreat. But when I heard that there was going to be one here in California, I could not pass it up. So I signed up to go, and then I asked Kathy if it's okay if I share the project, because this project is a class she's not done before. So it's a brand new pattern, and I asked her if it was okay if I shared my progress on my channel, and she said, sure, share away. I can't wait. It's in October 7th and 8th. So we're going up on the 6th. We're driving up there. My husband's gonna be our chauffeur. Isn't that sweet? But he's taking me and 2 of my friends from my Thursday night stitch get-togethers, and we're going up there, and 2 more from our stitchy group in SoCal from Fallbrook is going as well. So we're all 5 of us will be up there at the same time. I'm so excited. And we're gonna go up there, and the title of the class is called Wear It Well. And so let me show you what the kit is. So the kit came with this little card to give you a hint as to what you're stitching with the ring, and here are the flosses. They're all classic colorworks. And Wear It Well is a hint for tiara. You're gonna wear a tiara. So I don't know if we're gonna wear tiaras there. I think we're gonna get some, but I don't know if we're wearing them, if Kathy had the same idea or not. But we'll see when I get there. And I will share everything with you when I get back. So because it is a first time pattern, it's not put into a pattern yet. So I can't, let's see if I can find a picture that I can share with you that won't show the pattern. No, but let me show you this. This is our list that gives you all the things that are in your kit. So it came with 2 pieces of linen, 32 count, and brand new 18 count perforated paper. So there's 4 pieces you have to stitch all together. We're making a needle book, and I think a box. I think that's what because it keeps saying the top of the box. So, and the inside of the lid. So I think we're making a box and a needle book. I don't know if we're doing anything else, but that's what I know so far. So we got 2 pieces of pre-cut 18 count perforated paper. And so it looks like super tiny, but I love it. And so I've got 1 of them finished. So we have a lot of Smyrnas in this as a specialty stitch. And then we have this little stamp at the top, which I think is so cute. And so I still have to stitch. This is one cover, the front cover, and I'm not sure where the stamp goes. And then this is gonna be the back cover, which I need to do. And that's on the perforated paper. And then on the linen, there's 2 pieces as well. One says the top of the box and the inside, top of the box and the inside of the box, I think. So I've only done 1 of them. I think this is the inside of the box. And this is what I've got so far. It's so cute. I can't wait to see what it's going to be. And it's been a dream to me to be able to take one of Kathy's classes and learn finishing from her, because I'm not a professional finisher. I do my best and I try to get inspired by other floss tubers and try things that they've done or try things that I see. And so to learn from her, in my opinion, she's like the master of finishing. I cannot wait. Excuse me, I dropped that. Okay, sorry. I didn't want to lose. I don't want my class piece to get dirty, so I want to put it back in the bag. So that's my piece. When I get it finished, I should be doing another floss tube prior to us going to the class, and I'll show you my finished parts when I'm all done with it. And then when I get back from the class, I will share all about the class. I'm very, very, very excited. And Lois is so sweet. Because I've never been before, I didn't realize that when you sign up for something, you should book your room right then and there. I didn't know that. And we went to Arizona to visit my brother-in-law, which I told you about in my last floss tube. And I was like, oh, I'll just book the hotel when I get back. We're here in California. We were able to wing it. We've never had a problem finding a room. So I thought I would do that. And then when I got back, I found out that all the rooms were booked up. But I was able to contact Lois because she sent us a message and said, if you have any troubles or you need anything, please let me know. I talked to her. She talked to the manager at the hotel, and they were able to find another hotel room for my husband and I for the 4 days that we're there. So the day we drive up, and the 2 days of the class, and then the last day when we're gonna come home. So I was very grateful to her for that, because I did not realize that that's what you needed to do. So now I know, lesson learned. Thank you, Lois, you're so kind. All right, so then I have one more. Stitching. This one is the Fat Quarter Shop is hosting a Sunflower September. Kimberly is stitching a lot of sunflower pieces. I plan to do more as well, but one of them, they released this pattern, and it is called Sunflower Sampler. So you purchase it, and then each week they send a different piece out to you. The first part, I think, was this part of the border. The second part was this part of the border, and then this last one, we got this piece of the alphabet. I didn't do it as they released it. I did what I wanted to do. I love borders, and I think they're beautiful, and I enjoy stitching them. I don't hate them at all, but I cannot do an entire border all at once and wait for the piece. So I like to do the piece and a little piece of the border together as I go. So I didn't want to do it on Ada. I wanted to do it on Laguna, and I had a piece, or Lugana, and I had a piece of Sage Lucana, and so that's what I chose to do it on. So here's my progress. I think it's so pretty. She has, I think she's stitching it in MPIs, but she had the DMC conversion, and I decided I was going to switch it to a DMC conversion, and I like it. It looks pretty. I enjoy the greens. The only thing I did change is they had the centers of the sunflowers and this border, and I don't know if there'll be more in the pattern, but it was charted for 844, which is like a gray color. And I love sunflowers, and they don't have gray centers. I wanted it to be brown, so I changed that to 3371. And I like it much better, and I even went ahead and did the border in the inside border with 3371 too. So I don't know if the middle of the piece will look right for that. I'll make a judgment when I get to that, whatever it is, since it's still a mystery, and decide if I can do it 3371 or if I need to use the gray. I left that in my project bag just in case, but that was my change. I love this pattern. I think it's cute. It's as simple to stitch up, and it's a lot of fun. So those are my whips, and I have a little tiny haul and a little tiny piece of Happy Mail. So my haul, I didn't order much, because not only, and I'll tell you more about it at the end, but not only am I going to go to the class with Kathy Haberman, but at the end of this month, I'm going to my very first retreat. So I wanted to save my money for patterns that I can pick up there, as well as I told you in my last Flosstube, they're going to be opening up a local needlework shop. A quilt shop that's in Temecula is going to use part of her store to be a local needlework shop for us. And due to supply issues, it's not going, they were going to have a soft opening the 1st of October, but because of trying to get all the supplies for fabric and floss and things like that, we're looking now at possibly doing it at the beginning of November. So when I have more details, I will share them with you, but it is coming. I got to meet the store owner. She's amazing. Her name is Drew. Super sweet, fun to chat with. She made me laugh. She came to our Stitchy get together. Wonderful lady. I can't wait to see what she has in store for us. So we'll just continue to wait. I didn't order any Expo pieces because she was ordering a lot of stuff from Expo, so I wanted to save my purchase for that. So that's why I don't have much haul. However, Kimberly last week shared Laurie Holt's new pattern, Autumn Love. I love this, and I like Laurie Holt's, but a lot of time they're too bright colored for me, and so I generally don't choose to stitch too many of Laurie Holt's patterns, but I did love this one. I think it's so pretty. I especially love this piece, probably because of the crows, but I think I might make a little bit of changes. I haven't decided until I get started, but I did purchase the DMC for it. And then I also purchased, it recommends 25 count barley, even weave by Laurie Holt. So I went ahead and purchased that. It's all kitted up, and I think I'm gonna make this be my new start at the retreat, so I have something to remember the retreat by. And I'm thinking, the blue's kind of bright for me. I might switch those to some greens. I haven't decided. I might do blue greens instead, since there's some yellow greens in the pattern. I haven't decided for sure yet. I'll make that decision when I get to those, but I know that when I go to the retreat, I'll probably start in one of the bottom corners, so I may not need to make that decision right away. So we'll see. I'll show you my progress when I get back. Okay, so then my happy mail came from Colorado Cross Stitcher. So I participated in Colorado Cross Stitcher's Camp Cross Stitch 2022. I did all 3 months, and I show my progress, my start and my finish, and I'm always excited because it really keeps me motivated, and I never expect to win. I hardly ever win anything, ever, and I'm always happy for everybody else who wins because it's so fun to get a treat, but I actually won in August, so I was excited. So she sends you a picture of the winnings, and she posts them on Instagram. I saw my winnings. In my winnings, there were 3 patterns that I already own. Some I've already stitched. So I told Sherry that she could take those 3 patterns out and reuse them for a future gift. I wanted to help her out, and that way I wouldn't end up with 2 patterns, and somebody else who will be entering can win. So I got the rest of it. And I think she did something sweet. I'm going to show you. So first part of it is this 10 by 10 design board. I've never used one of these, although I always am envious when I see people putting their floss on it so it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm excited to try that out. Mine always falls on the floor, so this is going to come in handy. So that was one thing. And then this Lizzie Kate, a little stitch. It doesn't come with the floss, but it does come with linen and a little charm. So I won this. And then I got Quilty Love by Laurie Holt. It's funny because I haven't purchased any of these, but I do like that you can change them out and interchange them, and my goal was to eventually get them, so now that's one off the list. And in addition, to go with it, because it has, you can stitch on 10 count, so she gave me some 10 count vintage cloth to go with it. So I might do this for Valentine's Day. We'll see. We shall see. And then in the picture, that's what was in there, plus the 3 patterns that I already own. And so when the package arrived, she also had 3 little patterns. So I think she felt bad and wanted to give me something. So thank you, Sherry, if you watch my channel. I appreciate your kindness. She sent me JBW, Winter in the Round. I love that one. Little green sleds. And French Country Snowflake. And there's another different finish on the back. So those are pretty. I'm looking forward to that. A lot of winter stitching. So that was my prize from doing cross stitch camp. What a great feeling it is when you win something. And when you're patient. Do they say patience is a virtue? Sometimes I'm not very good at waiting, but it was nice to be surprised and actually have won. So thank you, Sherry, and I'm glad that I got to participate. I'm not participating in her September sampler. I think she's doing sampler camp, and it started this month in September, and it's going through December because samplers are much bigger. So she's doing that. I am not participating in that one just because I like samplers, and I am stitching the sunflower one, but I didn't take a picture of it before I started, and I don't know that I could keep up with it during the holiday months, especially in kindergarten or at our school. We do assessments, and our first progress reports is at the end of October. So we're testing all the whole month of October to see how our students are doing. And then from there, when November hits, it's time to start practicing Nutcracker. So we get really busy. So I didn't want to commit to something I didn't think I could meet the goal, and I didn't want to disappoint myself. So I chose not to. And that's okay. All right. So because I didn't have a lot of haul to share, I thought I would go into how I organize my materials. I know everybody does it differently, and by sharing, we can get ideas from others. And so when I started, okay, so my first Flosstube was in November, which means this November coming up, it'll be 1 year. I can't believe it. But last year when I started, I was watching Flosstube probably from March or April. And what happened was we shut down for COVID, and us teachers were asked to teach from home, but we weren't allowed, originally at the beginning, we weren't allowed to make any kind of interaction through the computers in any such way, because they wanted to protect privacies, both parts, on the students' families' part and our part, and they didn't want to have any legal issues just in case something were to happen. I think they just needed to find out what the guidelines were, and they had to set them before we could actually do it. So when we did it, I was trying to keep my days busy. We would make, each one of us teachers on our team, I was in charge of math. Each one of us took a piece of our curriculum, and we taught lessons, and we videotaped ourselves, and then we posted them to this chart that they could locate on the website. The students would go in, parents would click on the links, and it would take them to our video. The video would teach the lesson, and then we would have PDFs attached for the students to be able to print out and complete the assignment. It was really difficult, not just because I wasn't used to going on computer recording myself, but because when you're teaching the lesson, you have to teach it so that the parent understands why you're doing the things you're doing. Because it's very easy to teach your child the way you learned. But the truth is, academics have changed so much, and the way we teach the standards now is very different from when I was a child. They're very different from when my older boys were children, to my son who's now in high school, to my daughters who are in middle school. So each group learned things differently. So to teach a lesson to a kindergartner, for one, hoping that they're staying at your video and watching you, but for the parent to be able to help them, we had to teach to the parent too. So that was a really big challenge for me. but I did it, and look at me now, I'm on Flosstube. So the long story to tell you that I decided I needed to get organized because I needed to do something with myself when I was not filming, and I didn't want to sit and watch TV all day, so I started organizing. Now, I used to bobbinate all of my floss. In fact, sometimes you'll see me, I have these little bears. We created them. They're called Thready Bears. A friend of mine we did them, I want to say in the early 90s, like maybe 95. We decided to draw them out and run them off and laminate them and then cut them out and make them into bobbins for our DMC floss. And the DMC floss looked like a little dress around the teddy bear. That's what we thought. How quirky were we? Anyhow, so I decided I didn't want to bobbinate anymore. It seemed like an extra step that I didn't want to do. So I started looking on the internet, didn't even know anything about Flosstube. Started looking on the internet because YouTube is like the place to go to solve everybody's problems. And I decided that I would look up and see if anyone had done DMC floss organization. And so when I was looking, I saw the same things that I had, the bobbins in the big plastic bins all standing up. That's exactly what I had. I think it took 3 cases of these bobbins to have the entire DMC kitted up. So I wanted to condense it into a smaller settings. One thing that I could just pick up and go. So if I was going to go somewhere, if I didn't have time to kit, I could just take that whole set, put it in my car and go. And so I found this lady. I don't even remember her name because again, I didn't know about Flosstube. She was doing a segment on organizing and she was sharing her organization. And then I clicked on her, and then in the middle of the video she paused, so you can tell she did her video in 2 sittings. So in the first one she introduced it and I thought, wow, that's amazing. And then as I was watching, it paused and then she came back and then she was correcting herself. Apparently she was told by her subscribers that they had heard that Vanna, the Twisted Stitcher, had done this. Now I did find Vanna on YouTube, and I didn't see a video on her floss. But I'm not saying she didn't do it. She does have a blog, and I didn't follow her blog either. So, but I love this idea. It takes a lot of prep to get it done, but once you're done, it's amazing. So I'm going to share that with you. Let me show you. All right. So, and if you're a teacher, you probably have these already, but this is a file folder box. Okay. I think I picked it up for $5 at Staples. I think it was Staples. Anyway, so what you do is you get some hanging file folders, and then you cut them down into short pieces, and then you punch holes, and then you get some 1-inch rings. I think these are 1.5-inch rings. They might be 1-inch rings, and you put them in the holes, and then you label the holes by the DMC number, and then you just hang the skein. So here is an example. Okay, so I have them here, and you can see that I have 2 extra holes there. I just punched all of them exactly the same amount on the file folders, and then I added the floss later. And then I went on Amazon and I ordered the rings because what I found is at Staples you might get a set of 25, and it was like $12 or something. It was outrageous. But if you go on Amazon, I think you could get 100 for the same price. So that's what I did. And then I hung all my floss, and it all fits into one box. And whenever I need to kit something up, I go straight to the box. And whenever Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Joann's has a sale on DMC floss, I will go through this container and I will see if there are any rings that are empty, and I will buy 2 more to put on there. And usually when I kit up something, if I don't have it, I always buy 2, one for the project I'm working on and one to replenish my bin. So that way I don't end up with ever not having at least 1 skein of the color. So that's what I did, and it has a lid on it, so it keeps it clean. It keeps it safe from my kitty cats getting a hold of it, and it just hangs down like this inside. And I love this idea. It's so much fun. It takes a long time to get it done, so it's not something you can get done in one night, but once it's done, it's easy to maintain. Also, I've been able to get about 5 to 8 skeins of one color on a ring, so you can have extra colors there too. So that's my floss organization. So then I wanted to come up with a way to store my patterns. Over the years, I've done it several different ways. I have used the magazine holders. I've used a file cabinet. Trying to think what else. Well, the file cabinet was a fail because I had so many patterns that the handles in the inside that hold the file folders collapsed. They like bent and collapsed. And then the drawer bent, so that was a fail. And then I did the magazine ones, but the problem with that is the more patterns you have in there, the harder it is to see what you have. So I wanted to do something different. So I started thinking, well, how do you stitch? So what I do is I'm seasonal. Actually, I should say monthly because that's how my house is too. I like to change out things once a month. So whatever I want to work on, and I usually work on it during the time that's happening. So like this is September, I'm stitching school things, I'm stitching sunflowers, and if I don't get it done in the month, that's okay. If I get it done at the end of the month and I can't display it this year, that's okay, there's next year. So I decided that I wanted to organize my patterns by months. But sometimes there's a pattern that doesn't fit into one of the 12 months. So I made 13 boxes. So I went to Michael's and I bought these. I believe these are 12 by 12 paper holders for scrapbooking. Scrapbook paper, yes. So it's these boxes. And then what I did is I went, because I'm a teacher, I have all these different files for months because we use them in the classroom on calendars and things. And I printed them out and I just have it sitting on top. I plan to attach it to the inside because I don't want it to get knocked off, but I made 13, one for every month, and the 13th month is anything that won't fit into one of those months. So then I went and I asked my friend Melissa, I'm still not tech savvy, and I asked her if she would make me a spreadsheet because she made a spreadsheet for herself, brought it to Thursday night, and I was amazed at how she was able to set up all her patterns in it, and then any search she wants. If she wants to search something that has pumpkin, she can put in the word pumpkin and all these things file up. If she wants to search something for a holiday like Christmas, she could put Christmas, and then all these other things came up. And I said, oh my gosh, would you make me one? And she said, sure, it's easy peasy. She said, if you tell me what you want in your spreadsheet, I'll put it together for you. So I started thinking I wanted to number the charts. I wanted it to have the chart name, the designer, the size of the pattern, and then which bin it's gonna go in, because I call these bins, and I number them 1 through 13, and then what month the bin is, and then what season. I'm trying to think if I put anything else. And then at the end, I also put, she put a notes file, which I didn't think of that, but that was really brilliant of her. So, oh, and then theme was another one. So we did season and then theme. It's like, so like if it's fall, pumpkins, or if it's sunflowers, put the theme in there. And then the last one, she put in notes, which I ended up using the notes for if I have a pattern kitted, if I have a pattern as a whip, or if it's completed, because if I haven't given it away, it's completed, I have it stored away, and that way I know right where to go to get it if I need to use it again, or if I want to gift it or give it away to someone. So that's what I've been using the notes for. So she set that up, I started entering, and I started putting in my patterns in the bin. So like in this particular one for September, this one is bin number 9, and it has things like all autumn, beginning of autumn, because September is the beginning of autumn. So if it's just an autumn thing, not Halloween, then I would put it in here if I'm doing it for the season. Then I put school things in here, sunflowers in here, and it holds quite a bit, quite a bit. And I have a lot of stuff in here. And I'll just stick it in here and I'll just pop it in. So I'll put it in the spreadsheet, pop it in here. And then the month prior to the month coming up, I'll look in that bin and figure out what's in there that I cannot live without stitching at that very moment. And so it's working out really well. I love this. I still don't have them all into the spreadsheet. You realize how many patterns you have when you actually are counting by putting in that number. And to be honest, I am at like 350 and I'm not even near half of what I need to store away. So that's a lot of patterns. So there's that. So I've shown you my floss storage. I've shown you my pattern storage. So then I have, because I'm trying to finish things as I go along, I don't want to get behind like I did before. I have that giant bin. I have 2 more bins. So we have a hall closet that nobody ever uses. And before it just had a bunch of junk in there. So I cleaned it out and it has shelves on one side and then an open space on the other. So the open space would be like where you could put your brooms or things like that. And then on the shelf side, I guess it's supposed to be a linen cabinet, but we recently, during that COVID time, went through everything that was in there and we found so many sets of sheets that weren't complete. We had old blankets from when the kids were little that they don't want to use anymore. So we donated those and cleaned it out. So then I went to Michael's, and I use Michael's a lot because it's really just around the corner for me, like 5-minute drive. I'm so lucky for that. And they have their storage stuff on sale periodically, and they had these. So this is the bin, okay, and this is my fall finishing bin. And what's cool about it is when you open it up and you take the lid off, inside it has a little tray where you can put like your little bits and bobs in it for finishing. And then it has the big tub for other things. So I like to put large pieces in here and like greenery in there if it goes. And then that way when I'm gonna stitch something or I'm gonna finish something fall, I just go in, I grab this bin, I pull it out, and there's usually everything I need in it. If I buy anything new and the season hasn't happened yet, I'll toss it in here and then I'll organize it again when I get it out. So this is really handy for when you do your finishing. I don't have a craft room like so many people do. I have lots of children, so everybody has a room, but I don't have a craft room. One day I will have one, and I'm sure at that time it'll be a happy moment and a sad moment because that means my kids will have all moved out. So I took over that cabinet and I made seasonal boxes like this for finishing, and I did seasonal boxes for fabric because when you finish, you need lots of fabric. So in here, you can see that I have organized and put in all the fall fabrics in here. So then these two sit together on the shelf like this for fall. And I just have to pull these 2 things out, get that sewing machine out or my hot glue gun, whatever I'm finishing, and I can go to town. When I'm done, everything goes back in the tub. I slide it back on the shelf and everything's put away in its place and I don't have a big mess. So this is my way of organizing. I don't know if it was helpful to anyone else that's out there watching me, but I know other people share their organization, and I thought it might be fun to share what I do in case it inspires you to organize your things differently. So I hope you like that part. All right, let's go on. So that brings me to our new giveaways for this week. So this week's giveaways, let me pull out my giveaway bin. Turn the ones that are up. I have 2 patterns this week. And the first one is Little House Needleworks Patience. This is one of the Sheep Virtue patterns. I have this stitched up on my wall already. I've stitched 6 of the 12, but I have all 12. I gave one away recently. I think it was Simplicity. And so now I'm giving you Patience. So the keyword for this one, if you're interested, is Patience. And I think Christy from Java Girl Stitches is doing a stitch along on these. I'm not 100% sure. I know she's stitching them, but I feel like she said she was doing a stitch along. So if you want to participate, check her channel out and find out. But this one is, the keyword is patience. And then the other one is a Country Cottage Needleworks Cottage of the Month. Ah, so sorry. My ring light just tipped over. I'm so sorry. I kind of went, ah. I'm back. Anyways, it's a Cottage of the Month, and this is December. So if you're interested in December, use the word December as your keyword. And then the question of the day, or a question of the Flosstube, I don't know how you want to say it, is because we are in fall, I would like to know what your favorite fall tradition is. In our family, we have two that we do every year. One is we go apple picking, although we haven't gone this year. There's been a lot of fires. There was a fire in the place we go apple picking last year, I believe. Anyways, it wiped out the farm that we usually go to, and I love that place so much because they have a really big sunflower garden. So we haven't been back, and it's been too hot. And when it's too hot, there's lots of bees, and I'm highly allergic, like EpiPen allergic. So when it's too hot and there's too many bees, I tend to avoid going there. But generally, we go every year and we pick some apples. We get to mash and make apple cider. That's a lot of fun. One of the places is set up like old colonial times, so you can walk around there. They even have pear trees, so sometimes we can pick pears. It's a lot of fun. And they have a huge flower garden too that you can go walk through, and you can even pick flowers. So there's lots of things that you can pick there. You pick it yourself. They have hay rides that we go on. There's a really cute gift shop, and there's a really cute restaurant. And they even have a section where there's some sheep, and the sheep had a liking to me the last time we went because I was like, oh, look at the sweet babies. They're so cute. And then all of a sudden, all the sheep came walking up, and they were climbing the fence trying to get me to pet them. They were so cute. My daughters thought that was hilarious, and all I did was say how cute they were. It's a lot of fun to go there. We haven't gone this year. They do have other events during the year, so maybe as the weather cools off, we'll get to go, but we go apple picking. And then the second thing that we go to is a place called Bates Nut Farm. I've been going to this since, I think in my early 20s I've gone. All my children have gone, and they have pumpkin picking, and then they have different events, like there's a corn maze and a hay maze. There's they have a craft festival there. They have one for Christmas too. They have a lot of farm animals there. They have the nut store where you can go in and buy all kinds of nuts and candies, old time candies, new time candies, fresh made fudge of different flavors. The gift shop is gorgeous. Sometimes they have games and rides for the kids, and I know there's pony rides. Well, we've taken all of our kids. I love to go. It's so much fun. So those are two things we do every year. I do plan on going there this year, and it's a lot of fun. So what is your favorite fall activity that you do, whether you do it yourself or you do it with your family? I would love to hear all about it. All right, so that brings me to my plans. Our SoCal Stitchers is having a retreat. I guess they do it every year in September. I didn't go last year because there wasn't any room, and with different COVID restrictions, they couldn't have as many people there, so I wasn't able to come during the day. Now, Temecula is literally about 20 minutes from me. Unless there's traffic, then it might be more like 40 minutes. And it's out in the middle of wine country at a nunnery. I don't know if it's a nunnery, but it's a place where there's a lot of nuns that live there, and they do host retreats for different events for different people. And so they have their retreat there. I guess it's a no frills and thrills kind of retreat. It's pretty much you come, you get they cook food for you, so there's lots of food, so you have all your meals there. You get to stitch in the stitching room as much as you like. A lot of people are staying in rooms. They have single and double occupancy. I'm not staying the night. Those rooms filled up fast because they couldn't get very many. And since I live close enough, I decided I would just drive back and forth each day. It's not a problem. I did sign up to go as a day member, and I signed up for all the meals because eating and hanging out with my friends is a lot of fun. I like dining with friends. So I decided I would go to all the meals. I'm really excited. I've never been to one. I know they're not doing anything like swaps. We are going to play a couple games. I know someone has brings some music to join us. Lots of laughter happens there. There will be a brag table, which I still don't know what I'm going to take. And there's going to be a freebie table for anyone that wants to bring their freebies. So I'll check all of that out. I'm looking forward to it. This last year, meeting these girls, and as the group has been growing, I feel like I'm finally fit in somewhere, and it's nice to fit in. It really is. So I'm looking forward to enjoying the time with these ladies. I took off Thursday and Friday because it starts Thursday at 3 o'clock, and I didn't want to miss out on anything, so I took the day off. So Thursday, and it lasts until Sunday at around 2. So I'm going to do that, and then there will be a week in between, and then I'll go to Modesto, California, and do the Kathy Haberman class. So I'm excited. They'll be first for me, so I will videotape what I can. I will share with you what we did, and I'm looking forward to it. So if I also did sign up for StitchCon, fingers crossed I get in. I signed up for weekend B, and I know right in between the retreat and the class is when we get to find out if we made it. So I'm hoping that I did. If I did, I'm looking forward to meeting anyone that's going, and I can't wait to be a part of it. I've never done anything like this before, so I feel a little bit anxious about it, but I know it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to making a lot of new friends. So those are my plans for right now. I'm looking forward to seeing you again before I go to Kathy Haberman's, so I'll have retreat information to share with you, and whatever I've been working on. My goal is I'm going to try to stitch on a different piece every 2 hours. So I'll set my alarm. When the alarm goes off, I'll switch that piece for another, and I'm going to take a lot of my whips and that one new start, so that way I can get some progress done. So I'll have a lot to share with you next time. So until then, please be confident, be courageous, be creative, and be kind. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.